prophecy, revelation, dreams, economic collapse, civil war, aliens, human hybrids, the Nephilim, demons, giants, deliverance, the great deception, election fraud, lockdowns, forced compliance, tribulation, the mark of the beast, hatreds, mysteries. You want to stay tuned to Special Edition End Time Revelations. You're listening to Project Seer. Well, hello and welcome to the program tonight. I'm your host, Henry Schaefer. Come on into the house. We're going to have a good time tonight. Thank you, Jesus. Real good. Hallelujah to the Lamb. Get it all on in here. Get it settled down. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, we are on again. Project Seer, Special Edition, End Time Revelation. I am your host, Henry Schaefer. And we're going to be taking you along a little trip here tonight. It's going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about Disclosure Day coming. Disclosure Day's on the horizon. It's going to be a big, big change of things that's going to be happening. Settle on in. Let's see what we're going to do right here. All right, everybody. Tell your neighbors, tell a friend. We are on again. Good to see everybody tonight. Here's that title screen again right here. Disclosure Day is coming. Check us out on YouTube. We uploaded this to YouTube, Facebooks, all our Facebook Delivers with Pastor Henry, Henry Schaefer's Facebook page. We did it all. Check it out. It's going to be great. What we're going to talk about tonight, let's just settle on in here real quick and just go ahead and get started here. We're going to talk about Disclosure Day. There's a video, there's a movie that's going to be coming out in June of 2026. It's Disclosure Day. It's a video by Stephen King. It's going to be out in all the theaters. Big push. 6/6/26 or 6/12/26. That's when it's going to come out, the 12th of June. So everybody's going to see that. A lot of people's talking about it. And what I see happening is that if the church does not have the answer to what people are going to see or the truth of what's going to do, the world will write the truth in their heart and in their mind. So I did a teaching here just the other day. I'm going to put it up on the screen right here. What I did at the church. This was on a Wednesday night. I called it Top Secret Disclosure Day by Steven Spielberg. And I talked about a man by the name of Phil Schneider. He is on here. You're gonna see it on here. You can go through here and look at it. But we only recorded the audio. I did the audio recording of this, but no video. So all they'll get is this screen right here and the audio version of what we talked about. But there's a couple of videos I showed that night. And I am going to show you that video right now of where they're talking about this Disclosure Day coming. See, I got it right here. Yeah, Disclosure Day coming. So it's the official trailer of the movie. So I want you to look at it here. Now, as we begin, for those who are familiar with what I do or what we do with Deliverance with Pastor Henry, I know this is controversial, what I'm getting ready to say, but there is the possibility of demons that transfer off the screen of the things that you watch. So to protect yourself in this here, Christian, is that you take your spiritual authority over any demonic spirit that wants to transfer, and they're on trigger to do this here. Say, in the name of Jesus, nothing can transfer to me off this screen. Anything that Pastor Henry does or whatever we watch on these movies, nothing can transfer. I take my spiritual authority over it, and you do it like that. Now, there are things that do transfer like that off the screen. If you don't believe it, all you got to do is watch pornography. That's how it comes in, through that eye gate. That's how that comes in to people. I don't know why deliverance ministers have such a problem with this kind of stuff. They just don't think it all out, what they say and everything. So here we go. We're going to look at this Disclosure Day movie right here. We're going to see what we can do on it. Just about 3 minutes. Let's go with it right here. Here we go.
What did you steal?
Secrets. The data they paid me to protect.
Are they people?
No.
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Today is today's.
Do you understand what she's saying?
I hear it's gibberish. I can't understand it.
And I can.
What's happening to me?
People are starved for the truth. I'm a part of it now. I'm just sorry they made you a part of it too.
Hello, Jane. Please, have a seat.
This 79-year terror campaign of lies has to end.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world.
That truth will upend all established order across the entire world. If you do this, there's no undoing it.
Why would they do this?
When the time is right, everything will become clear.
Whatever happens,
Don't you let it go.
Okay, that's the Disclosure Day. That's that video advertising the movie. Now, of course, he said, in the name of Jesus, ain't nothing transferring to me, because a lot of that is demonic that you're going to see there. And a lot of people are going to go to this video, going to go to this movie, and they're going to watch this. And in this movie, it's going to start to prepare them at this disclosure time of aliens, the truth being told. A lot of that is being set up right now. A lot that's happening in our government. And many people have had conversations with our representatives about aliens, disclosure, Donald Trump doing some things with disclosure, things coming out of our government. Well, when that happens, it's going to formulate questions that a lot of people are going to have to answer from church and pastors and teachers, and the world's going to be asking a lot of these questions now, especially when this happens and it goes into reality. What are they? Where do they come from? And what's the the purpose. Are there extraterrestrials? Are they interdimensional beings? Are they from another planet? Zeta Reticuli? Is that what's going on here? So, to those who have listened to a lot of the shows that we have done, I've done some shows here on Project Seer, and we've answered a lot of these questions many years back, speaking about alien disclosure. I want to take you for a moment, and I'm going to do this in probably about 3 or 4 installments of teaching about the disclosure day. But I have to go back to, I want to introduce you to a man by the name of Phil Schneider. Now, Phil Schneider was a man. He died. He was like 43, 45 years old when he actually passed away. And they say he killed himself, but when you look at the reports and everything, he was set up, and someone murdered him. Well, this man, Phil Schneider, was a man who worked for our military, and he was a private contractor, but he had a very high clearance, safety, security clearance. And what he did, he would go around and he built military, underground military bases. And he had his father came over here from World War II with Operation Paperclip, Germany, when we took a lot of their scientists in, and Phil was a small child at that time. And he came in and he just started working with the government as he grew around his father and all of this. Well, he was a self-made geologist and very, very brilliant in what he did. So what they do is they have machines that are approximately 30 feet in diameter. I think they're like 27, 28 feet to be exact, or thereabouts. And what happens is that they're able to go underground and they bore tunnels. And as they bore these tunnels, it's very sophisticated as far as how they melt the rock, and then it solidifies right behind it. And just in a day's time, I think do something like 7 miles of tunnels that they can do, and it's ready to go. Well, he tells the story, and then we're talking about disclosure, and we're talking about aliens. Are aliens among us? And if you do deliverance like we do, I want you to, everything that we do it from, it has to be through 2 views here. One is that you see everything through the eyes of a deliverance minister, and the other one is that you see it through the world view, not a Christian, but I'm talking about a world view of are these things real? Are we the only ones on the planet? And actually, what's happening here? Well, Phil Schneider, as he was drilling these tunnels, he came to a place in Dulce, New Mexico, where they was building a special air base, underground DUMB. It's called a DUMB, underground military base, deep underground military base. And as they were drilling down, they knew there was some anomalies that was in the ground. He, going down in an elevator that they have to be able to do this with, came up to a huge opening. And in this opening that he came up to is that he smelled a horrible stench. And when he did, he was face to face with a 7-foot being. And there was a firefight that started. And many people died that day. There were 66 Secret Service people who actually died that day in that firefight. I'm going to let him tell you the story. It's the video goes back to the mid-90s. So some of the stuff is not all that great video-wise. But I pulled it off of the internet and I brought it here because of the disclosure day that's coming, that you have to have some type of a foundation. And the foundation that I have is that when we went back and did our studies, I'm talking about from years ago, we did our studies like this and started to put together, are there other people who already have had exposure? We're talking about from the crash that happened in Roswell. Some people say it was some type of a balloon. Some people say it was an actual aircraft, or there's different people that have different ideas. So we've done a lot of studies in this here, but to bring you up to to listen to what he said from a secular worldview, and then for you to, as you look at this here and me posit this for you and bring the subject to you, look at it from a deliverance ministry aspect of it, to where people have seen these things and they report them in deliverance. This is what we're talking about. So how do we bring it together? And that's what I want to do tonight in this installment number 1 that talks about this disclosure day coming. Aliens, Phil Schneider, and a Dulce firefight. So I'm going to put it on right here for you. We're going to see what we can do with it and let you watch him. And forgive me for the audio and the video, but this is what it's like in the 1995s when they did it.
I'm Phil Schneider. I spent 17 years in black budget programs, government geologist, as engineer, structural engineer with aerospace applications, self-taught metallurgist, became kind of famous in my own right. I basically would have a set of notes here, but they're unavailable in all this melee. Up here I have different artifacts explaining some of them are alien metals that have been produced both on this planet and the confines of outer space that are now used in all stealth aircraft. All stealth aircraft, for instance, all black jets, what you're seeing of black helicopters and the like. The skins and the coatings and the residues that are used predominantly in the aircraft themselves, in the airframes and the rotor blades and the fans, and in some cases in submarines, special titanium hulls, in the Phoenix class submarines now. All this has come from alien technology. 1947 is what the public has been told. Something crashed in the backyard in New Mexico, a place called Roswell, New Mexico. Unfortunately, that's what the public's been told. The military's known about the alien question for the better part of 70 years, and they first saw their glimpse of what was going on as early as 1909 in the American Southwest. Now, Army cavalry evidently were chasing some bandits, and they entered this cave. They were holed up in a cave, and what they found in there was flying discs and little gray guys and all kinds of weird things, and they didn't know how to explain that, and they wrote them down as best they could, and it's been in secret archives ever since. And it's up down by the Truth or Consequences area of New Mexico. Well, the alien thing is more than just what I'd call a non-visible threat. We on the surface, first of all information dealing with alien or alien reproduced technology or alien reproduced vehicles or any other kinds of things well hidden from the American public. Our black budget, for instance, garners $1.023 trillion every 2 years. It's over $500 billion a year. Right now, there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide. Each one has an average cost of $17 to $19 billion. Each one is built in the site. It used to be it'd take a year to 2 years to build each one, and now they're capable of building a couple of them a year with sophisticated methods. My colleague Al Bielek has actually been on some of the high-speed railways, the magneto-leviton trains that connect all the deep underground military bases within the United States. He's been on a Mach 2 train and floats off of a single rail at 3/4 of an inch off the rail, and is what you'd call high tech. We have nothing like this on the surface. The public basically has been totally lied to. We're considered stupid or even moronic in some cases. It's got to stop. If we're going to gain our country back, we must, and I repeat, must instill in our public officials, anybody that goes and does public service, they must tell us the truth. If they cannot do this, then they must be impeached, or they must be removed from office. If this cannot occur, if the truth cannot totally come out, there are reasons for secrecy, for instance, but if the truth cannot totally come out, what's the use in us having anything called freedom? Okay, now I have pictures here that I'm going to show you during the break in Artifacts, and I ask you to kind of look at them but not handle them. I have actual crashed retrieval metal from Roswell, New Mexico. It's given to me when I was 14 years old. For instance, I've got other things. I've got pieces of this piece of titanium, a special titanium alloy made for everything from the original SR-71 Blackberry. That's old hat now. F-117As, they're old hat now. They're making a whole new class of hypersonic above Mach 5 aircraft that employ extremely modern charged particle beam weapons. They don't even use lasers anymore. Computer enhanced imaging radar, although it's used in helicopters for public surveillance, computer enhanced imaging radar, and in satellite technology. The brand new kid on the block is a kind of infrared technology where a satellite 150,000 miles out in a geosynchronous orbit, or not quite geosynchronous orbit, but these spy satellites can literally look in and see a dime on the floor, say on your kitchen floor. They have a resolution factor of 99.999961. This particular piece of metal, I'm going to drop it on the floor here. It'll kind of ring like a bell. You can't break it. Withstand temperatures in excess of 7,500 degrees Fahrenheit. It has niobium in it. It also has mironite in it, element 123. Yeah, please do. It's in a non-crystalline form. This is just kind of a dripping out of the main crucible. Here's a crystalline example. It's in the scalenohedral crystalline form. We got this from the large grays technology. This is grown in the confines of outer space, which has not quite a super vacuum, but by the way, this is capable of withstanding temperatures in excess of 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It's great for certain parts of aircraft. This kind of material I work with on a daily basis. Up here we have a transparency of
Okay, we're going to move over to the next one here now.
Transparency of Groom Lake. Groom Lake is where the infamous Area 51, S4, S2, a CIA base, it was originally a bombing range, a nuclear test site. It was later become the most secret base in the United States. It employs over 18,000 workers who work in shifts of 12 hours at a whack. Most of them work in the cover of darkness, like us. We built 9 underground military bases there, each with an average capacity capable of basically a city underground, roughly 4¼ cubic miles hollowed out underground. They have boring machines, for instance. They don't bore, they literally vitrify and melt the rock, deflagrate the rock. It's a very sophisticated laser melting and deflagrating system. It reduces the rock to a powder and then melts the remaining rock as a coating on the inside of the base, so you don't have to use gunite cements and other kinds of things like that. That's all old hat now. Technology is just basically the new technology we get is the old hat of the military. I'm going to be real brief about it. I carried a level 1 security clearance, the Rhyolite 38 Factor. There are very few of us. There's nobody except myself, to my knowledge, talking like this. Nobody. I'm breaking the law I'm breaking world as well as federal law, coming out and even talking about this to a group of people. I love my country more than I love my life. 2 weeks ago, I was shot in the shoulder. I don't want to gore you women out, but I was shot in the shoulder up here. I recently have become friends of a retired FBI agent who took me under the wing. He says, I've never seen a person braver than you. And I said, well, there's more coming. Our patriot movement in these United States is going to pick up the ball, and we are going to kick the parasites out. First of all, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, a few other founding fathers, Patrick Henry to mention a few, all had visions that these United States is going to live 700 years from where they were standing, and that was somewhere around the late 1700s, early 1800s. So you can count this country. This country isn't going to go to a new world order. I believe firmly in constitutional law. I'm not very well skilled in it, and that's my embarrassment. But I'm going to be real blunt about it. The government that is now instilled in ruling over us are ruling as we're serfs and they're the kings and queens. Now, that's a feudal system. That isn't even a democracy. We are now being ruled by an autocracy and a technocracy. In other words, technical knowledge as rules as king, with a feudal type system. Feudal systems haven't been used in the last 350 years, and they're coming back like gangbusters. If we are complacent, if we do not speak out in droves, and I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about a bunch of us getting together and getting on this stump and loving our country more than we love our lives, getting on, some of us are going to get killed. I almost got killed a couple of weeks ago. Hadn't been for an FBI, a retired FBI man who risked his life, his career, everything, put it all on the line, and he didn't know me from Adam. A week prior to that, he listened to one of my tapes I gave up in Post Falls, Idaho, and I'm going to be very blunt about. He said that we need a lot more of you, but unfortunately we're not getting anybody. Well, I'm not the best speaker in the world, but I'm trying to relay to you that we need to get out and seriously get the message out. These shows are great. This hall should be absolutely packed, standing room only, and we should be getting the message out to as many people as we can with as many shows as is it possibly to reach. There many is the public. We got to get on talk shows. We've got to get on news shows and TV shows, and we have to really get the message out. And I think we're doing it, but it's a little bit slow in the first part. That's just that part of what I want to say. In working with the black projects, I was very loyal. I was picked because I was very strong mentally. There's a bunch of us that were picked because we don't crack under pressure. We don't freak under pressure, so to speak. Everyday events don't bother us. Now, I was involved in something very controversial, almost totally unbelievable to most of you. Some of you are religious people. I think all religions have a time and a place, and they definitely have a place in America. Now, another thing I want to reach to you is that during the unbelievable part, I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. It's a biological laboratory. on the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa. We built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. Some of them ran 2.5 miles under the surface. Number of the original wells or drilling machines that were used were at the rate of up 2 miles a day. It was fairly rapid. The equipment kept coming up broken. So we wanted to go down and we wanted to send somebody down there, a human observer, or human observers in this case, to find out what was going on. Well, to our total surprise, first of all, the government knew all about it. They didn't tell anybody. When I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up. The gig was up. First of all, I knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for as best as believed possible about 400 or 500 years. Had been one of their internal bases. And we'd drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up, and well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really. All started. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build an underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and then you build called stopes or cross-member holes across, and then you use blasting equipment, special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation, and you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person was the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walter PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This was in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. And burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my left foot. Burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember is the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He lost his life. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, crack troops lost their lives because the government, our United States government, lied, did not tell us anything about the alien threat. There's a war underneath there, and I'm talking dead serious. The that's been going on since that time. Since late August of 1979, our military, the Russian military, basically the militaries of the world, have been in constant conflict with the outer space alien. The small gray, the large gray, the reptilians, the whole thing. There are 11 distinct races of aliens. 2 are benevolent. 1 had to leave here in a hurry because their world is under attack, both on the surface as well as underground. There, the Pleiadians. They're familiar. Maybe some of you are familiar with that. Would some of you raise your hands who've heard of Billy Meyer and some of the, very good, about half the group. Well, Billy Meyer is one of these lucky people that they figured, well, he's kind of a simple type, we'll show him everything. Well, these are the benevolent aliens, and they've been here helping us. In fact, I have a picture, let me reach for it here. I have a picture of one of the aliens been working for the United States Pentagon for the last 58 years. His name is Valiant Thor. He's right here. There's my father in the background. This whole place, the ready room of the USS Eldridge, Al Bielek has probably explained, or maybe even shown you this picture. There's a list of some of the notable people in it. They're all the atomic bomb scientists of the day, all the time variant experimentalists of the day, all the top physicists of that particular day. This was in August of 1943. Now, this guy has not changed one iota in 58 years. Started work, he came here, crashed here or whatever, whether he's under duress or not. He started work for our U.S. Navy and military operations in 1937, either 37 or 38 is what I've been told. So it's for 58 years, this man's been employed, probably under duress. If you don't do as we say, we're just going to use you for alien bait or something, I don't know. But anyway, he basically hasn't changed. He lives for 490 years, is what he says his lifespan is. Now, he's supposedly a semi-benevolent, he's a human-looking type person. He has 6 fingers and 6 toes, and he's got one oversized heart, one lung, giant lung. His blood vessels are bigger. He's got copper oxide for blood, similar to an octopus. His brain capacity, 300 centimeters greater than ours. He has a thinking capacity, IQ, if you were to measure it, be totally off the scale, be about a 1200 IQ. He speaks 100 languages fluently, alien as well as others. He's a remarkable person. I had a chance to meet him one time. Now, by the way, he doesn't shake hands. He was kind of in a spacesuit because all aliens, regardless benevolent or otherwise, they're carrying germs and diseases and bacterium in and on them that are deadly to us. If I were making policy, I'd quarantine them all. Because how do we not know that some of our diseases like AIDS, Ebola, hantavirus, and a few of these other weird designer diseases, as I call them, are not made from the cadavers of some of these aliens as a biological weapon to use against the people of the United States? Well, I'm a tired American speaking out. Now, what I'm telling you is kind of almost like a brain overload here. Back in 1946, we set off a number, actually 4 atomic bomb tests at Bikini Atoll. It's a group of islands in the South Pacific. I have an original photograph here with original language on the photograph that shows there is a large alien spaceship off a wingtip of a United States aircraft. It was a drone aircraft right at the point where the bomb was beginning to show a neutron flash cloud. Here's the bomb going off. Here's the airplane tip here, and here is the alien spacecraft. Now, in 1947, excuse me, 1947, questions later, please. In 1947, after Roswell debacle, our military got before the U.S. Senate. They were hauled before the U.S. Senate and says, what's going on here? Well, we didn't know anything about discs until this happened. It flopped in our backyard. Total lie. They lied to the U.S. Senate. They should have been prosecuted as traitors. Anybody lying to a United States Senator or House of Representative, any Senator or House of Representative person, President of the United States, Vice President, any cabinet member lying to the American public is a traitor and should be dealt with in an appropriate fashion. This is actual proof, positive, that this occurred in 1946. Now, U.S. military knew all about flying discs, and flying disc technology is thoroughly early as 1933. Of course, remember the Germans did too, the Nazi Germans, Hitler and all their bunch of people. Now, it gets to the big question. If all this has been hidden from us, everybody says, well, where's the proof? I've got some of the proof laying on the table. But a lot of you probably are totally skeptical. They say, well, I could be anything. In my hand here, I have a piece of what's called corbamide. It's the heaviest element in the world. Element 140. This piece of material weighs 15 ounces. It's 3.5 times the weight of uranium. It cannot be made to emit gamma rays. It cannot be isotoped. It is totally stable. It is used in all stealth aircraft and all Phoenix-class submarines. When combined with other alien elements, it is impregnable. It cannot be melted with charged particle beam weapon. When properly combined in secretive compounds, it can withstand temperatures in excess of 10 million degrees Fahrenheit. It is grown by aliens who have given the other side of the alien question is, some of these aliens have broken off from their mainstream and said, we're not getting a fair shake, and so this is what happens. And I'm talking about the alien grays. Some of them broken away. They're talk about not being popular. This particular piece of metal is an amazing piece of technology. It's capable of being grown in 15 different crystal systems. Now, I'm a geologist, and I, prior to 15 or 20 years ago, knew of only 6 crystal systems. There's actually 15, if you count all the alien metals. Now, this is only element 140. If you look at the local periodic table in your local library, it says 104. Somewhere down the line, we've been lied to, we've been cheated. What we have to do is we have to literally ask for the truth. If we cannot ask for the truth, we must demand the truth. We must take it before courts of law in common law systems, and we must demand it. If we cannot do this, our founding fathers told us the only thing left is to overthrow, to get the parasites out. I don't advocate overthrow, but it does look like this may be the only alternative.
All right. There you have it. Now, that's just 3 segments of a long talk that Phil Schneider did. He went all across America, and I think he did like 30 of these conferences about what had happened, his involvement in the underground bases, what happened to him as far as finding out about aliens underground, the gray aliens, You saw him as far as all this metal. He was in the know. Now, here's all I'm saying is this subject that we're studying right now that you're looking at. Some people say, well, I've never heard of this. Well, I'm going to say 7 or 8 years ago when we were doing these Project Seer shows at the radio station, is we studied these in depth in there. There's some shows that I can put some links in. You can go back and watch them as well. Here is what I think that the church deliverance ministries, you've got to be aware of what's happening. Just say everything that Phil Schneider's talking about on the secular side is all deception from demonic forces, Satan, fallen angels, all of this. In the secular side of it, this is how this disclosure is going to happen. They've already talked about 11 types of aliens, and and two's already left, or two are malevolent, one's already left, the Pleiadians, I think that's what he said, and the other ones that are here. Anyway, I do believe these people have already seen this here. They are involved in it, and the aliens or the demons or these beings are involved in our government. So now what's happening as we move closer to the end, you're going to start seeing where this disclosure is going to come about. Here is what I want you as a deliverance ministry and all to be able to understand. They're going to go back to this time with Phil Schneider. He did, like I said, 30 of these, and I've got the last one he did. It's over the internet. You need to pull this stuff off the internet so you can at least have it in an archive. But I think it was like 3 days after he did that last interview or the program he did, he was found dead. They say it was self-inflicted, but they've got a lot of self-inflicted. What do they got? 11 scientists missing now in the last couple of years. 11 of them have either missing or have killed themselves. They're dead. And several of them have done suicide from these scientists, nuclear scientists. So either there are other governments that want our nuclear scientists, or there are people who are coming out and they're sharing information, and they're not going to say anything about it. And they just get rid of the people here. I'm not sure what all you need to believe on that, but it's all happening all around us. I do know 6/12/26, this movie's coming out, and if you're not aware of the alien information behind the scene and the things that we have dealt with, and when I say things that we have dealt with, I'm going to kind of set it up for the next program I'm going to do, because I don't want to be too long. But one of the things I want to share with you now, I guess I can think about it now, is that when Roswell happened in 47, this area time frame, and the time frame that he's talking about here about with Roswell, I want you to think about Israel. I want you to think of what's happening in the end time, and I want you to think about how that the aliens started to make themselves known in a broader way, in a bigger way. Now, as we get closer to the end as well, look at how much more the aliens become, or the aliens or this demonic seed that we're talking about. They've become much bolder, more emboldened to reveal themselves. And if you don't have a foundation yourself to stand on, you're going to be sucked into this yourself. Many people that you're going to talk to, they're going to go back. They already know about this Phil Schneider incident and underground Dulce, New Mexico, and the underground base, and of course him dying. And the reports are all about what he found out there in that area. He has a lot of information. I may do 1 or 2 more of this here, because he does talk about in that time frame when the aliens came, that they got involved with the president of the United States, and there were certain treaties that were made between the aliens and humans, our government, to do certain things to all of our brothers and sisters that are out there. Okay, so with that being said, I think I'm going to stop right here, right now, because we're going to get about an hour into this thing here. And I'm going to run that video, that last part, again, about this disclosure, because that's what we're talking about. Is there's a passage of scripture I'm going to put up on the screen right here for you. Let's see if I can get it up right here. Get it up on the screen. Yeah, right there. And it's actually in Luke chapter 21 and verse 11. Here it is right down here. Luke 21:11. And it talks about, but before all these, they shall lay their hands upon you. 20:11. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall be there from heaven. So as we talk about how all of this right here is going to happen, there's going to be great signs from heaven that you're going to see everywhere. I'm going to see if I can't get this right here. The settings on it right here. Show my mouse. Yeah, so anyway, this is pretty much all I can show you right now. It's Luke 21:11. Great signs. There it is right there. Great signs that there shall be from heaven. Great signs that's going to be from heaven. Let me get it up right here. I can see it on the screen when it comes up. Great signs right there. These great signs, I believe, is going to have a lot to do with what's going to happen with the great aliens, with aliens. Just say it in what's happening. There's been a lot of alien movies. A lot of alien movies across the time. But this time, what's happening as we get closer to the end, I don't know why there has been so much just me speaking about it in our government. Tim Burchett is his name. I think he's a senator, a representative from Tennessee. And he said that if you knew the things that he has been revealed to him in some of this disclosure on, he said that you wouldn't sleep well at night. So, therefore, trying to set this up, I believe this is what God would want us to do, is to be able to have an answer for people when they come. Let's watch this one last time, then we're going to get out of here. Here we go.
What did you steal?
Secrets. The data they paid me to protect.
Are they people?
No.
Hey, I forbid the transference of any spirit off this screen in Jesus'
Good morning,
name.
Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Let's. Today is. Today's.
Do you understand what she's saying?
I hear it's gibberish. I can't understand it.
And I can.
What's happening to me?
People are starved for the truth. I'm a part of it now. I'm just sorry they made you a part of it too.
Hello, Jane. Please. Have a seat.
This 79-year terror campaign of lies has to end.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world.
That truth will upend all established order across the entire world. If you do this, there's no undoing it.
Why would they do this?
When the time is right, everything will become clear.
Whatever happens,
Don't you let go. Okay. Again, pray over that stuff before you watch it. If even just what I just did there through that video in what's going to be released, demonic, I'm talking about spirits coming out of the screen, going into people. This is how, remember that one guy said, I understand what's being said, and I'm telling you how he understood it. There was something inside him already. It was inside him. See what I'm getting at? And this is how this great deception is coming. And this disclosure is going to be part of it, and it will actually change people's worldview of God and the end time and the Bible and everything else. Well, I want you to know that I am Project Seer, special edition, end time revelation. That's exactly what we do right here. We do this here to tell everybody exactly what's going to be taking place. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in and being part of what we are doing here in Jesus' name. Somebody shout amen.